G'day, welcome back. I'd especially like to welcome my new subscribers, and I hope you enjoy the content on my channel. If you missed my last video, the little bump alignment tool for the lathe, there's a link up there now. You go watch that first, then come back and watch this one. Now, as I mentioned at the end of that last video, I'm going to make some more tool holders, some quick change tool holders for the lathe. So I'm a bit shy of them, and I don't want to pay the price that they want for them online. So let's head over to the mill over there, and we'll see what I got to make them out of and how I'm going to go about doing it. Alrighty, so this is the bit of material I bought. It's a piece of S50C. I don't know what it equates to in other denominations, whatever it is you want to call it. Now, it's listed as a metric size, but just running a ruler over this, it's actually an imperial size, 2.5. They listed it as 65, I think it was. 65 by 35, something like that, but it's actually 2.5 by 1. Now, these things are only a bit over 2 inches, so 53 millimetres. But I don't reckon it'll make too much difference. They're a bit longer, and they're also nowhere near as thick as this. These are only about 20 mil, 19 mil, something like that. But in here, that slot's not very wide, so the fact it's thicker means I can make this slot deeper. And you'll see here where these clamp screws are, right up along this edge here anyway, so just allows you to get the clamp screws out towards the centre a bit more. Right, so first thing we'll do is again, we'll dress it up a bit, and I think for these two narrower sides I'll break out my little mini fly cutter that I made a while back, which I haven't used since I made the bloody thing. We'll give it a whirl on this and see how we go. It's actually the widths like this that I made it for. Right, so give me a minute and we'll move this camera and get started on this. This one doesn't do a bad job, but it doesn't give me quite as good a finish as that big one does. But anyway, this is going to need another pass up there. I'm going to bore you with all this fly cutting that you've seen me do enough of that. I'll bring you back when I'm ready to start getting in the middle of the guts out and putting the dovetails in it. Alrighty, so that's not quite up to my usual standards, but all the same, not too bad at all. Right, so stinking hot out here today. I think I'm in for a long hot summer. So I'm going to call it quits for today, and tomorrow I will set it up, we'll get it sanded up, get the roughing mill out, and we'll knock the centre out of it like this, so that we can get in there with the dovetail cutters and cut the dovetails in it. Alrighty, so while you guys weren't looking, I've sanded all this up, put the edge finder out, sanded it up. Now I'm going to knock 6.5 mil deep out of the centre and 24 mil wide. So let's do this. I'm going to use a roughing cutter first, and then I'll change to a 12 mil end mill just to dress things up towards the end. Alrighty, that thing is red hot. This thing's pretty bloody hot. You know, with the benefit of some 2020 hindsight and a bit of afterthought, that's taken me 9 passes, I think, in total to do that. But I could have done it in 6, because that cutter is a 1/2 inch cutter. This is only 24mm wide or thereabouts, which means that that's more than half the width of that gap. I was taking, what did I take, 2mm deep cuts to start with, so I could have just gone up, back, down in 2, up, back, down in 2, up, back, down in 2, and had it all done in 6 passes. But anyway, so this is all freaking red hot, and my daughter wants me to take her somewhere to buy something, so I'll go and do that, and when I come back I'll change over to this 12mm 4-flute end mill, and I'll dress up these edges here and just take a bit of final pass in the bottom. Alrighty, so that's all nicely cooled down, so I'll get in and we'll clean these faces and everything up. Alrighty, so at the moment that's about 0.01 too narrow, so it really needs another 0.05 up each side. What I did was about a 1/2 mil clean-up pass in a conventional cut, and then a 0.2 climb cut to clean it up, but I'll do it as a climb cut again with another 0.05 to get to the right width, but I won't bore you with that. So next, when I come back, we'll have the dovetail cutter out and we'll cut some dovetails in it. Alrighty, just had to do a little bit of something else off camera too, as much as I hate to admit it. I ended up too deep in there. I had to take 1/2 millimetre off the tops of these, so rather than do it with the fly cutter, I just did it with that 12mm cutter. But I did leave a 0.1 on the top here that I could run the fly cutter over later to smooth it out a bit. Alright, so I've got this set up in here. I'll make our first pass down in here, see how it looks. Alrighty, so they both had the same, so both sides about the same amount removed from them now. I knew these broken 4mm carbide end mill, long series end mills would come in handy at some stage. Perfect for doing this. It measures 17.6 at the moment, and it has to measure 18.8 or 18.7 whatever it was. 18.8, 89, so it's got to have about another bit over 1 millimetre taken out of it, so another 1/2 mil off each side. This battery's getting a bit light on, so I'll turn the camera off and I'll change the battery, and I won't make you suffer through any more of that dovetail cutting. It's a bit slow, and when I get it right we'll come back and we'll check it out. Well, I ended up having to take about 4 passes up that, but it's bang on 18.9 now, which is what the other one measures. One I'm copying. It's the moment of truth. Have I got it right or have I overshot it? I'd say I got it bang on. Perfect. Alright, it's iced coffee o'clock. Alrighty, so while you guys weren't looking this morning, I paid a visit to the bandsaw, which is looking a little lonely over the other side of the shop over there. So I chopped these up into 4 relatively even pieces, and I did say I could get 5 out of it, and there's the 5th one. Now if I'd have cut it off through there, it would have been the same size as these. But I decided I'm not going to do anything with this. I'll just clean up these saw cuts and see if I can't save this one for something special sometime. You know, who knows what. 4 should be enough for the time being. So I'll get the little mini fly cutter out and we'll machine all these down to the same height, which is about 1 millimetre. Well, should be. God, that doesn't look right. I thought I left 1/2 mil each side to clean these up. Anyway, maybe I didn't. Shit, what happened there? Anyway, I shall just clean them up and go from there. Alrighty, so some of the I marked these out to be 29 mil after I cut them. Some of them down just under 28, and they're not square. So it appears that what happened was I only milled one end, and that was this other end. And then when I marked them all, I didn't use a square, which was like mistake number 1, and I just scribed all the cuts with this thing as I went up it, just working across the end. I should have just sort of marked it in the middle or something and then marked it with a square, but anyway. So 2 of them I will hopefully be able to get them close to 28, which is what the original one is. Another 2 might be just a little bit under. Doesn't really matter. Anyway, so let's get this thing going. Well, as much as I'd like to get rid of these 2 little marks left just here, I'm not going to chase that because it's already 0.4 millimetre I've taken off there. And this is one of the thinner ones, so I don't really want to take any more out of it. So I'll get the other one of the thin ones in there and see how we go. Actually, no, I might just flip that one over and finish it. I doubt you guys really want to watch me do all of these. We'll get one finished and call it quits at that, and I'll do the others off camera. Just have to make sure when I drill and tap this one that I make that the bottom, not the top. Alrighty. A rather tragic event in Bangkok yesterday afternoon. There was a massive 7.7 earthquake up in Myanmar. Way up in the central part of Myanmar. And for some reason or other, it shook the hell out of Bangkok, and it dropped a multi-storey building under construction with about 40 workers inside the thing. I mean, it came down like the towers did in 9/11. Absolutely tragic. But apparently 20 of them survived because they were in a lift tower and it protected them. So that's amazing in itself. You see the video of this thing collapsing, it's just amazing. Jesus, that's 1.36 millimetres. Well, this one's going to be pretty narrow. A lot narrower than it should be. Anyway, doesn't matter. You may notice I can take much heavier cuts with this thing than I can with the big one. It was only probably more than 1/2 millimetre was chomping out of there in that first pass. Anyway, I'll get that out of there, I'll have a quick measure and see how undersized it ended up. A fair bit, nearly 1.5 millimetres, but I don't think it matters that much. Alright, so I'll finish all these other ones off camera and then I'll come back to you when it's time to start milling some slots in them. Alrighty, so I'm pretty pleased with the finish I got on these from that little mini fly cutter of mine. Did a great job. The heights are all over the friggin' place though. I'm kind of disappointed in myself because I had all that extra left over Look, I had all this in here. I could have added another millimetre to the height of all of these and maintain the correct height, even though some of them ended up 1.5 mil undersized. But anyway, give me a bit of, I'll turn this camera off and do it. I'll reset this up and we'll do something about cutting some slots in the faces here. Alrighty, so because these things are all different widths this way, but everything's the same this way, what I've done is I've worked everything out from this edge, which is this top edge here, right, where the screws go. And because it's thicker this way than this are, I've got to go in 12 millimeters, which will give me literally a 12 by 12 opening in there. Alrighty, so let's get this done. I won't make you sit through all of these. I'll just do one. I'm going to cut it with the roughing cutter and then finish them with the 12 mil end mill. But what I will do is go back through them with that 12 mil full fluid end mill to finish them off, rather than keep swapping the tool out. Alrighty, so that's one down, 3 to go, but like I said, I won't bore you with the other 3. I'll bring you back later when I'm ready to dress up these faces in here. Alrighty, so that's all 4 of them hogged out in the centre with the roughing mill. I've put the 12 mil 4 fluted solid carbide end mill in there, touched it off on the top using a bit of this, which was 0.06 millimeters. We established the other week. So now I'm just going to I'm going to do a climb cut down this side and back up this side at a depth of 12 millimeters, and hopefully that will finish this one off for that side, for the machining side of things. So let's go. Alrighty, so I'm pretty happy with the way these are coming up. I'm not so happy about that finish in the bottom of that slot, but anyway, that's life. Much better engagement in these ones than the old ones, the original ones, the one I'm copying. Anyway, so like I said, I'm pretty happy with the way these are coming up. Finishes are all pretty nice. Not bad for a homemade mill, eh? And homemade tools for most of it. Alright, so I won't bore you with the other 3. I'll knock them over, and then when we come back we'll drill and tap some holes in it, then we'll be nearly done. Alrighty, so we're on the home stretch, and I've got to drill and tap the 20 holes, which I'm not looking forward to. But I shan't bore you with 20 of them. I'll just knock one over, and then like I've done with all the others, do the rest off camera. So let's do this. Alrighty, so I've jumped the gun here. I want to put a stop in here, and rather than keep changing the tool out all the time, just keep changing the parts out while I'll do all the centering, and then I'll do all the drilling, and then I'll do all the tapping. Just turn this camera off a minute and I'll fit one of these up, change out to the next one. Then I'll come back to you when I'm done all the centering, spotting, whatever. Alrighty, thanks to the magic of video, that was the 4th one, not the first one to get drilled. I do that so that I can go straight onto the tapping. Oh, it's bloody shopping day today. I've got to take shear and muscular bait shopping after I've done this one. I'll do the other 3 after lunch. Not exactly looking forward to tapping 20 holes, but anyway, that's life. And I won't bore you with that either. Alrighty, 5 down, 15 to go. It's gonna actually be a nice change to walk around the air conditioning in the shopping centre, because it's stinking bloody hot here again today. Alrighty, so I'm going to find a way to get rid of all the burrs in there yet. I do have a little round carbide burr I can maybe do that with. Get rid of these burrs in those bottom of those threads. Alrighty, so I'm on the home stretch. I don't think I'll film any more of this garbage, and I'll come back to when we're pretty much done. Alrighty, so I finished off tapping all those other things. It didn't take me that long, nearly an hour I suppose, to the other 15 holes. Cleaned up those burrs in there with, let me grab it, just with this little, these little bloody wheel things I bought a while back. Just ran it up and down there, knocked all the burrs off. I even just ran around the edges, took all the burrs and shit off the edges. Bumped it there, slipped off. That's a bugger. Anyway, these things fit perfect. I did mention I'd made some of these in the past and I kind of stuffed them up. Now that one there that I use for parting, it won't lock down. It looks like it will there, but when I get all the way around here it won't. So I end up having to make this like a little shim up and slip it down in there to get it to lock up, which is a pain in the ass. Anyway, but these ones, these are absolutely bloody perfect. And also, while you weren't looking, I machined up 4 of these little brass rings, built just a knurled nut like that to use on them. And I've been down the road to the bolt shop and bought some more cap screws. So these will be going to the idiot. So they're bang on, these things. Absolutely beautiful. I did mention how much that piece of steel cost me, I think, but it was 324 baht delivered. The screws, all 5, well actually I bought 20 of those screws and 4 of these longer ones. They were 148 baht. So what's that? 300, 420, 460, about 470 baht for 4 instead of 1200 plus delivery, which would have got up to about 13 or 1400 baht. So I'm pretty pleased about that. So all that's left to do now is to cold blue them to stop them rusting. Because even with the amount of oil that was splashing around on these things and machine them, I was picking them up sort of the next day and you'd see traces of rust on them. Because we are into the wet season. So I'll blue them all up and then we'll wrap this video up, but I won't bother making you sit through blowing them up. At this point in the video, I'd like to thank my patrons. Their continued support is greatly appreciated. If you'd like to become a patron, there's a link down in the description. You can sign up there and drop me a couple of dollars every month. If you don't want to be a regular contributor, there's always buy me a coffee. Now, let's get back to the build. Alrighty, if you've been enjoying watching me make these tool holders, I'd really appreciate it if you smash that like button, give it a great big thumbs up, because you know it kind of helps me out. Look at this, can't keep ants out of anything here. I oiled these with vegetable oil. I think that's what's attracting the ants. Anyway, there we have made in China, Australian made in Thailand. Very nicely made too, I think. They really look the goods. Let's just there's a storm rolling around here. It's just starting to rain. Anyway, so that's that for this week. Those belts still aren't here, but they've cleared customs, I think, because they don't look like they've moved for 3 days. So, but it says they're in transit. The other stuff that I was waiting for has arrived, including that gear that I bought when I thought the other one was never going to get here. That got here too. It's arrived, so that's just been put aside. Anyway, I think I'm going to wait for those belts because I don't want the final video for the threading to get away from me any further than where it already has. It's already gotten 2 more videos down the track, or 3 videos down the track now. So that's about it for this week. And like I said, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all next week. Bye bye.